Hello, hello.
Hi, it's
Lightning
Wednesday.
outside. It's lightning outside, so I'm just waiting for the internet to go,
Okay,
down.
let's hurry up and let's get to the good stuff before it happens.
Yeah. So today we started off with our masters at 8:30 or 8:30, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. We went right into self-made mind and body. So Rhonda, you take it away. Tell us what
Wow,
you learned.
mastery. You're kind of like on a roll right now with our masters with all this great stuff that you've been talking about. And you introduce in the month of June, it's all about urges, but it also urges 2.0, but it has to do with more about our relationship with our body. And so when you kind of kicked out today, you talked about processing your emotions is the key. I have it in big letters on my notebook here. Key to your sustainable weight loss. And it's not about what you're putting in your mouth and taking out of your mouth. It's more about that it's your emotions around your eating and why you're eating and what you're eating. And so that was pretty big.
Yeah, because I think most people can relate to the fact that they feel something like, let's say, overwhelm or frustration. Those are usually the two triggers that I find myself reacting from. I'll be in the pantry or with the refrigerator door open. And so if you don't learn how to process frustration and overwhelm, then you will continue to turn to food to numb those emotions. Why do I know? How do I know that to be true? Because it's what we've always done,
Yeah.
and we'll continue to do that. So I'm trying to teach you a really good tool of processing your emotions so that you can actually get to your goal weight and stay there. The people that yo-yo back and forth, I would say the biggest distinction between the people who stay there and the people who don't is the people who stay there have learned how to manage and process emotions.
Yeah, and that it was the key is that that now we've been taught how to recognize that so that you're just not automatically running to the pantry, right? Or running to the refrigerator or whatever you want. You're like kind of stopping yourself and then working through it because you're probably not even hungry. It's just whatever is happening, that's your automatic response. So that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Anything else from Masters that
Yeah, you know what?
you found?
I loved that. We were talking about the nervous system, like the nervous system. I didn't even know that that had anything to do with, what we're trying to do with sustainable weight loss. But you were talking about how it's the connection between our mind and our body, and how there's, what's neutral and what's above and below. And I just like the example that you gave and how we can, recognize where we're at in that process.
Yeah. I am all about frameworks. I think I am just somebody that learns better through frameworks. I'm such a visual person. And so yeah, I think your mind's language is your thoughts. Your mind communicates through thoughts. Your body communicates, or your body's language are feelings. And the connection between the two, between mind and body, is your nervous system, right? That is like kind of the control center. And I want our clients to understand we all have a nervous system. We are all going to find ourselves in a state that our nervous system has inflicted, maybe, or has implemented or triggered, right? And so I want you to, I challenge our clients to not only notice what the feeling is that they're experiencing, but are you kind of above baseline? Are you in a real triggered state, like fight or flight from your nervous system? Or are you in a state of freeze from your nervous system? Um, and so we talked about what emotions contribute to which state. And, how do you normally show up when you're in that above neutral or below neutral nervous system state, right? And when you're in kind of that optimal space, like that's when you're able to access your prodigy brain. That's when you're able to make really good decisions made from data versus made from drama. The drama is typically, your primitive brain is in survival mode. And so the thoughts are very dramatic. And then that's an easier way to notice, like at what state you are currently in. And I just think it really supports our deepest desire to help our clients understand themselves. So, yeah, so we talked about, yeah, are you in kind of this activated, anxious, fight or flight state, or are you activated in this very maybe kind of shame or lethargic place that maybe looks like worry or confused, right? Those shame, those are often like the under the baseline type areas of our nervous system. So yeah, we talked a lot about that today.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff in the chat about that. People really understood it and were like, "Oh, this is right." I had one gal, she's like, "Yep, I'm in the fight, the flight, and the freeze, and I'm all of the above."
Yeah.
Like,
well,
okay,
and why?
that.
And that's good to know, because if you're somebody that like puts the expectation on yourself that, today is the day I'm going to go after my goals, but yet you're feeling really stressed,
Yeah.
probably not the optimal time to, run after goals. It's actually the optimal time to just process that feeling. Yeah. And you want to get better at that. That's really a gift that you've got the feeling and that you're in a place to process it. That's going to strengthen that muscle. And back to point number one is processing feelings is what's going to keep you maintaining the weight that you want to maintain. Yep. So you want the at-bats at processing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. Okay. And then self-made mind and body.
Self-made mind and body. Okay. So this was really fun. So today, we just kicked off our Evergreen program. So you can start now. People can start every Wednesday. They don't have to wait until we have a new class starting. So our cohort type situation, we have changed because people were waiting too long to get into the class. So we're just finishing up that cohort. They are starting week 9. They only have 2 weeks. I can't believe it. It's gone so fast. Time is flying by. But we had students that were just coming in, right away today. And so it was really interesting to be able to talk about, what we were doing in self-made mind and body for at a week 9 level, yet they're still learning and needing to relearn, and hone in on their skills of the very beginning parts of just building a protocol and learning how to coach. So it was really a good class.
Yeah. And, we talked a little bit about how, when that week 9 class is talking about hormones, which can be a huge topic. It's a moving target. It's very complex. And it gave us the opportunity to kind of illustrate that when you're talking about a topic like hormones, if you have a thought that there's a lot to know and I need to know it all right now, that's probably a thought that's generating some overwhelm. Yeah. And that's probably not going to have you creating the result or the experience that you want. Same could be true for that person who's on week 1. They might be having a thought like, holy moly, there's so much to learn. And the thought that we would ask you to just consider is, all you have to know is what the next best step is. And that's what we're here for. We're here to hold your hand through this journey of the next best step. You always have us through the app, through the workbook, through the live coaching, through the recorded lessons. You can't go wrong. But if you notice that you're starting to feel this level of overwhelm, and this is true for anybody who's listening, whether you're part of our program or not, if you're noticing overwhelm, connect it back to the thought that you're thinking. I'm guessing it's very dramatic, and it sounds something like, I have to know it all right now to be able to get to what it is that I most desire. That's a very dramatic thought that's not serving you. What's the truth? What's something that's more believable, right?
Yeah, that was what I underlined. Must be a believable thought, or you'll just feel skeptical. So you got to work on that. What is a thought? And it can just be something really simple.
Yeah.
Today I'm just going to fill in the blank.
Yeah. And if you're out there and you're like, this is just more of the power of positive thinking, yada, yada, yada. It isn't. It absolutely isn't. Like it's the power of noticing a believable thought from a non-believable thought. It's the power of noticing your truth that you're operating from and what's serving you and what isn't. And so, I have to know it all in order to be able to get to my goal is you think that that's the truth. And that's the truth that you've been operating from. But if you put it in the mind math formula, you're going to see that you don't like the result that you're creating for yourself. the next best believable thought might sound like, I just need to know what the next step is, and I've got all the support I need.
Yeah,
right? Like, yeah, that versus, you know, I now know it all. That's not believable, right? That's going to make you feel skeptical because you don't believe that.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I would think, I would say that there's a lot of skeptics out there. And so I'm really glad that we're making that point so we can squash it.
Yeah. So take that.
Yeah. All right. So
well, just want everybody to know our next class, you can hop right in next Wednesday. We will put the link to the information about the Self-Made Mind and Body program in the comments. So you have that, and you can always reach out with any questions you may have. We're happy to answer them.
Yeah. Awesome. Talk to you guys soon.